Another live duel commentary here from locals recently. This time we've got Ritual Beast against Shadoll Clowns. So I'm piloting the Ritual Beast here, and Danny Boy YGO, Hendo YGO, sorry, is piloting the Shadolls. Opening pretty subpar. Not really knowing what to do here, to be honest. The only real play is go into a fusion. I could like make Canahawk or something, get one search, but it doesn't seem very ideal. Game one is pretty one-sided and quick, so this one won't take so long. Pedalfin opening is not really the worst thing against Shadoll, because they do have a tough time getting around it. Now he chooses to fuse from the deck here, and I let that go through instead of tagging out, thinking that it shouldn't be an issue because of the fact that he probably still he'll probably struggle to out this dolphin anyway. And if I defuse, all he's gonna do is attack over my little guys, and I have no follow-up play at all. My hand is pretty gash. There's really nothing I can do except sit on this Pedalfin and hope that he can't do much to out it. So that was my reasoning behind letting the fusion go through from the deck. In hindsight, maybe that could have been different, but honestly his hand is just way too good at this point to really warrant any kind of play. So the dragon comes down on the back row with the Fiendish Chain. Now another reason as well I let that go through is because while of course he can fuse from the deck and get the materials required to make a Castel, forcing out the defusion or even Trishula, I thought I would be safe with the one set Fiendish Chain. But yeah, it's not really much to go by at this point. This here was definitely a misplay. I let the mind control go through instead of detagging again. That was pretty silly. I don't think I should have done that at all. It could have went a lot differently at this point if I didn't do that, but I mean, yeah, his hand is just way too good. He makes Ascension here, and then he's got Instant Fusion, and then I just scoop it up. I think I'm playing really badly at this point because there's a lot of how shall we say, distractions going on in the background, of which the audio I've cut since it was probably a little bit too obscene even for my standards. Excuses aside, going into game two, I start playing a lot better from this point on. I choose to go second because I feel that against Ritual Beast, playing Ritual Beast, there's really no reason you want to go first, except to dodge back row. Sure, you want to set up your traps and stuff, but against Shadolls, what do I really want to do? I want to set Steeds against Shadolls. It doesn't seem very good. So choosing to go second means I get an extra combo card, an extra way to set up and make my make sure I don't brick, and I think that's really all there is to it. Against back row decks, you want to go first because you don't want to be disrupted, but I mean that kind of goes hand in hand with I guess the plays of here. So anyway, I made I did a bunch of combos there. I think I searched out an ambush and a Steeds, or no, just an ambush, and I attacked over into that Skomata. In hindsight, probably should have made that ulti Apilio. I set the Chaos Trap hole and a breakthrough skill, Chaos Trap holding the Denko. This deck loses really hard to Denko, so I specifically side for the Denko. I'm not really much else that I'm worried about. I'm not particularly concerned about other cards the deck can do. I think Shadolls have, I think Ritual Beasts have a pretty good Shadoll matchup, so the only real problem card is Denko because you need your traps to get rid of their guys. Anyway, moving along, I've got a Lara coming down here, doing some bunch of combos and searches with Apilio and stuff like that. Just the standard plays. Danny's on the back ropes here with not much except a Trick Clown and a Trapeze Midget. I think that's a Trick Clown as a material, which can get quite annoying. Actually, I think it's a Juggler. So it's not too bad. So I'm searching out the ambush at this point, just for the usual recovery plays and OTKs for the setting up for the next turn. Just setting a bunch of things, letting him go through his plays. Uh, I choose not to preemptively use ambush or steeds or anything like that, just because, well, I kind of risking that he doesn't have Denko, but I feel like it's sort of worth it. In phase ambush, bringing out Kanahawk and Elder. I use steeds as well, but that was a set Falco, which is a little bit unfortunate. And the Trick Clown comes out from the deck from the Trapeze Magician's effect. In hindsight, probably should have used that steeds on my turn, so that Falco would be less of a nuisance. But could have won this game a lot quicker, as you'll see soon. But yeah, the deck has a lot of longevity. You can kind of keep going for a real long time with what's it called? Ritual Beast. Search out a bunch of steeds and stuff like that. But again, thinking about it, might have been a good idea to try and go for Ulti Gaia Pelio. Generally, if they have less cards than you, you want Ulti Gaia Pelio because it means that they can't. You're gonna have more fodder for their cards. So if you have like 3 discards in your hand to their 2 cards, then you know you're winning at this point. Doing a bunch of searching here, getting I think Rampengu as a normal summon. At this stage, I think I'm gonna overlay into Chidori, just because like getting rid of that Falco on the bottom, putting Trick Clown to the top, kind of seems like a pretty good play at that point. It seems like sort of the best option. Then as a follow-up, setting the Trick Clown, I kind of start to realize to myself that, oh, I'm still in a bit of a trouble because that card's going to float. Chidori isn't going to do much except, like, you know, attack over it, and then it's going to come back, and seems a bit, like, not very ideal at this point. I put the Elder into attack because I can attack over the Trick Clown when it comes back, but I forget that I can actually, that the Trapeze Magician can be brought back from the Trick Clown, because it brings back anything from the graveyard. He rips that Shadoll Fusion off the top of the deck, and this is where I, like, play really badly. I didn't realize that I could steeds my own monsters, so I would have saved myself a lot of headache, and this game would have not been drawn out this long if I had flipped steeds right now in response to the Shadoll Fusion and destroyed my own Chidori. I think I have ambush set. Actually, I'm not sure if I do have ambush set. There isn't much he can make here despite fusing from the deck. Of course, he can send like the Trick Clown and stuff, which floats, but it's already used this effect this turn, and he's sort of vulnerable to a big steeds play here. At the same time, however, I can only steeds 2 monsters, so I kind of got to be careful and make sure I steeds the right thing. And Danny's just looking through his extra deck now, seeing what he can make. So there's 2 Trick Clowns in the field, meaning that there's overlay options. I decided to let it go because I'm protected from Mexiton anyway, because I've got like 3 Fiendish Chains set or something ridiculous like that. So he Exitons, and that gets changed by Thingy. And then he chains El Shadoll Fusion to Exiton's effect from the Fiendish Chain, which could have been extremely deadly. So I'm thankfully saved by steeds at this point. Actually, no, I don't think that worked out. Oh, wait, okay, yeah. I didn't blow up the Exiton because that would mean that he would get its effect. So I chain the steeds to the El Fusion, hitting the construct, meaning he's got no Shadoll monsters to fuse for El Shadoll Fusion. And that could have went very wrong for me. So as you can see, I'm going through a serious headache right now of, like, I've just caused myself so many problems when all I really had to do was, you know, do the basic play of just steedsing my own Chidori, and I would not be in this situation right now. So through a lot of trouble and toil, I eventually get through here. A top deck Policia, which yeah, things only get better, and well, I'm doing some searches as well at this point. I think I just try get more traps and stuff, and I get bonds, and I'm trying to calculate if I can like go for game. The deck is actually takes a little bit of thinking, because there's like multiple options I've got here. I can go into Ulti-Gaia Paleo, which is probably the better option, to be honest. I can make like a bunch of searches. You know, I can also use Petalfin here to bounce the Exciton. However, that Trick Clown underneath is always going to be a nuisance because of what it does. It's just constantly floating, acting as a barrier. So Petalfin using effect, Trick Clown bringing out Trapeze Magician. Oh no, Hat Tricker, sorry. I'm not sure what difference that makes. I mean, I know Hat Tricker has some kind of strange effect on the field, but I actually can't remember what it is right now. It's kind of irrelevant. So like I said earlier, the deck has a lot of longevity, as you can see. Like I've been steedsing and ambushing like constantly, and having to like badly play and fight through some fusions and stuff, and you know, the deck's still got a lot of like fuel in its reserve. So just going in hard here and trying to like eventually get through all this like silliness. So attack over, set my steeds in ambush, and this is where I realize, you know, I can, you know, not be terrible, and I can actually steeds my own guy, steeds my own Chidori, so he can't make another construct, and then I can chain the defusion of Ulti Paleo. And as you can see, he picks up the steeds here to read it, just to make sure that you can pop your own monsters. So it's quite funny how in the exact same duel, like I did do that after realizing I should have done it previously. So yeah, that was a really long drawn out game, but it was pretty fun to play. It kind of like seems a little awful to watch when looking back at it now, because of just how badly I did. Game 3 is absolutely disgusting. Like I just opened so badly. Opening Wen is like a one-off. Like it's not very good, and yeah, I have non-fusion area as a side deck, side card. Breakthrough skill, the mathematician. I feel like that's the best play. I'm not really sure. I think it is. I don't know. The hand is just so bad at this point. Like I've got Foolish Burial in my hand as a combo card, so like anything I could top deck, like a Terraforming for Oracle, a Policia, Alara, any of those cards would, you know, help out the situation drastically. And yeah, if you're playing Ritual Beasts and your best play is like set and pass, things aren't really going your well whatsoever. And I'm just getting absolutely demolished here by like construct fusions and maths, and yeah, it's just way too much at this point for me to handle, and I'm only falling behind further and further. I think I eventually top decked into something playable. Just have a look and see. And constructs, attacks over Petalfin. Yeah, as you can see, I opened the Petalfin there, which is really awful. I think I've got Foolish Burial and a Regeki in hand. Oh, yeah, so I've managed to rip that Terraforming. I get the Oracle for the Policia. Policia target the Petalfin. It's actually, now that I look at it closely, I didn't actually have Foolish Burial in my hand. I think that must have been the Terraforming I was holding that whole time. Terraforming, of course, is really, it does nothing if you don't have a beast in your graveyard. So that's probably why I was holding on to it. So I managed to get a couple of combos off here, some searches, but without Canahawk, it's pretty hard, and it's quite dire. Getting his steeds and a Paleo, using his effect to banish the Petalfin. And at this point, I'm not really sure like how to go about this, because I mean, he's got fusion in his hand, and if I'm gonna defuse, I'm gonna lose my guys. So I opt to just go for Petalfin again, and hopefully like don't get blown out. But he's got a Denko, and I think that's an instant fusion in his hand, and he just shows me his hand and plays like with his hand up. And yeah, it's pretty tough. He does show me the hand, but I make him play it out because I'm at full health. I think, yeah, I'm at 8,000. And I'm pretty sure that he doesn't play this out perfectly. Because he definitely doesn't game me this turn, I think. I think I eventually scooped my like awful hand, but so instant fusion comes down with the Nodin. Nodin bringing out Skomara. At this point, he overlays into Castel. Castel on the Petalfin. I'm forced to chain and D-tag, bringing out Paleo and Policia. So I've managed to like get myself a little bit of a wall here, but you know, Denko Seka and no follow-up play, it's all really irrelevant because I'm pretty much gonna die next turn. It's quite surprising that he didn't manage to game me through, despite how good this hand is. I'm not sure if it was possible. So just looking at here at the maths. But yeah, there isn't really much left to say at this point. It's Denko Seka is like too strong, fusing from the deck. Not really anything I could do. I mean, and looking back now, perhaps I should have D-tagged and whatever, but defusing from the fusion just seems so pointless. Like, what are you gonna do? You're gonna defuse. Your guys are gonna die. You're probably gonna be sitting there facing down the window. You have no recovery. Like, it just seems really bad. So here he attacks over my field. Foolish Burials for a Falco. And I think my set card is Raigeki, which was really stupid of me. I can't remember if it was, but anyway, that's it for the duel. So thanks for watching, guys, and see you next time.
Come, face me, give in to your pride, show me your greatness.